Hello and welcome to the build tutorial of the Super Drum 70. I will teach you how to build it and then how to load it. And let's just get started. First I will populate this spring holder with these commonly found drum springs. I will be putting in 6 of these. You can choose up to 8. These have worked with as low as 4 springs and with as high as 8 springs. I would recommend to start with 6 and tune upwards or downwards depending on your blaster or setup. These are pretty easy to get in if your printer is printing with good tolerances. You may have to clear them up with something, these ridges. This one does not want to go in. This is exactly what I mean, there's a seam here. So very nice. I have left 2 on open on opposing sides to even out the forces, and then we're going to take one of our bearings and just put it in here. Very good. And you need to put one brass insert in this hole from the back, and that's that. Now I forgot what this piece was called in the files, but you'll have to put 2 brass inserts, one on each side, put it in the fan and put one of these screws in here. These are 3 by 10 button head screws, I think. I think the button head screw is the name. Very nice. So I don't have that part here, but there will be a spacer in between the bearing and the fan. Just imagine I put one in here, just put it over the connecting rod thing and squeeze the bearing on here. I don't know why it's so hard on this one, but it should go on pretty easily on yours. I think I just messed up the settings when I printed it. So next I will put the knob together. You will need your pen spring. It's about a bit less than an inch long. It should stick a bit out a bit to have some pretension. And then I get this arm, put it in like this. Get one screw, put it in here to the side of the knob, and pay attention that it goes through the hole in the ratchet mechanism or you'll destroy the part. Also pay attention that you don't screw it in too tight, because then it will get stuck like it did now. So just screw it a tiny bit and it will move freely. Then get this tiny part, put it here and hold it tight. Get another screw, put it on the back of the knob. Screw it in. And you need to tune it a bit so that this part moves with a bit of resistance but doesn't wiggle. So I'll get my adapter on my screwdriver here, turn it left a bit and test it. That works nicely. So now we will get the front side. This is the version with the molly clip, and there needs to go a brass insert in here for this clip. And just put it in here, take another screw, and screw it in. Like this. So this part is one that needs to be lubed to work correctly, or at least with my darts it did. So I just used a silicone lube spray to spray around the tracks once, reasonably fast, kind of like I just did it, and I just put my finger in a towel and try to get as much as residue as possible out. So there's just a thin bit of silicone film built up on this ridge in the middle of the tracks here. That has been worked. That has worked nicely and hasn't gummed up any of the insides of my blasters or damaged darts in any way. I think that worked very well. So, and we are just going to put our spring block in here. No, we will first attach the spring block to the fan, because there's a special orientation. So just take the flat side towards yourself and have this hold here towards your left. Put it on, also just set it on, and turn it once to the right until it can snap in. That is the correct amount of pretension to assemble the drum perfectly, and for the springs to snap into these holders. Just put it in here now, turn it over and put one more screw in front. Screw it in. So for the neck, just put 3 of these links, I think I called them, dummies. These are dummies. Put 3 in your neck. If you have the normal 100mm neck in, different necks will require different amounts. In this one needs 4 in total and 3 in the neck for assembly. Slide it into the front here. If you want, you can also loop this part, but I didn't need to in my testing. So, and then just don't put it here. You need to turn the fan to the left and put it in there. Now it's pretensioned a bit to have some force to eject the last few darts. So this is one of the most beautiful parts in my opinion. You will need to put 8 heatset inserts in here. Make sure every surface is flush on this one. It's just so the neck doesn't wiggle or the darts don't wiggle forwards or backwards too much. Also it looks ugly if there's a seam in the middle of your, or I mean a gap in your drum. Yeah, just put it on like this. turn it over and screw the 8 screws in. I put them in the holes first. So, one last screw, you just put the knob on the rod here, put in your last screw, or if you've bought a hardware kit you likely have some left over. So, and for the drum to work correctly, you it should let these dummies fall down on their own. Sometimes if it's not correctly cleaned up after the print or assembled incorrectly, they can get stuck over here. Nobody likes stuck dummies. At least I don't. So, and to load it, I always push this pin that way, so the ratchet can lock into one of these holes. Turn it a few times, get some darts. I've always hold it like this and push the darts in, the heads. So, and now that we are started, a good combination is turning it 4 times and putting 3 darts in. So, and you see I put 3 darts in every compartment in the fan. This is very important. Be very consistent with this. Every compartment needs to have 3 darts in it. And that's just all you need to know for loading and unloading this drum. You can unlock it by pushing down this part and turning it over, turning the other part over it, and it will lock in. It'll have a nice click, and then it will spin freely and push forward the darts. And that's the Super Drum 70. Thank you for watching, and thank you for buying hardware kits and supporting me.